Alright, next up on 2025 deck reviews, we have Sharuum the Hegemon. Sharuum is a 3 black, blue, white, 5/5 legendary Sphinx. She flies. She's got wings. Of course she flies. But Whippoorwill doesn't. Does anybody remember Whippoorwill from the Dark? So Whippoorwill, I believe, costs 1 green. I think it was 1/1. I think it had activated ability, destroy, and enchantment. It was a bird. It was a Whippoorwill. That is a real bird. It had wings in the art. It's a fucking bird. But it didn't fly. It didn't fly because it didn't say flying. And everybody's like, what the fuck is this bullshit? It looks like it should fly. It's a bird. But because it doesn't, they didn't put the flying keyword on it, it doesn't fly. Fucking wizards. Anyway, back then, okay, that's a small mistake, because irritating at the time, but we all love the game. Compared to the mistakes they're doing now, it's nothing. It's water under the bridge. Nobody cares compared to the shit they're doing now. Anyway, what Sharuum? So when Sharuum comes into play, I may, if I choose to, return an artifact card from our graveyard to play. Well, why wouldn't I? That's kind of the point, isn't it? You don't just pay 6 mana for a 5/5 flyer. That's kind of a waste. Unless it's a common and you're playing in draft, you've got no choice, then okay, fair enough. So anyway, the obvious thing to do is use Disciple the Vault. Disciple the Vault is a 1 black, 1/1 that whenever an artifact goes to the graveyard, is it target opponent or each opponent? Some opponent loses 1 life. And you set up a loop where you've got Disciple the Vault in play, you've got Sharuum, and you have anything that'll copy an artifact. That is an artifact. You can have Phyrexian Metamorph. You can have Sculpting Steel. You can have anything like that. So, you've got the Disciple the Vault in play. You've got Sharuum in play. You play Sculpting Steel, copy Sharuum. You have to get rid of one because she's legendary. You get rid of the Sculpting Steel, and but because it came into play, the ability goes on the stack to return an artifact card from graveyard to play. So you bring the Sculpting Steel back, copy Sharuum. It's a copy of Sharuum, so the ability goes on the stack. Legendary rule applies. Sculpting Steel goes to the graveyard, but it comes back because of the trigger. So anyway, you go and you just gun down your opponents with just have the Vault. It's a 3-card combo. I don't do it anymore. I had it in there for a while. It's just too easy, too obvious. I don't want to do it. So I've had Sharuum for a long time. First she was Sidri, but Sidri is 2 mana hungry for what I wanted to do, so she became Sharuum, and I did Disciple the Vault, but it's just too obvious, too easy. I do have some infinite combos in the deck, but not that one, not anymore. And I don't take her out that often. I don't take her out that often because when I play Sharuum, mainly I just want to play with fun artifact effects. I'm not really doing that much in the game. I'm just enjoying my toys. It's a toy deck. So anyway, Hollow Fountain, Shockland, yeah. Looks for mortality. So I have this in play to just sit there, and if somebody targets my graveyard, 2, gain 5 life, shuffle my graveyard to my library. So if this is in play, I will always keep reserve 2 mana, no matter what, if I suspect somebody's going to Bojuka Bog me, or Angel Finality me, anything like that, if I have anything interesting in my graveyard. That's why that's there. I could have Felden's Cane, but Felden's Cane is 1 use only. This gets shuffled back in with everything else. So I can pull it out and use it again. Set those there. Phyrexian Metamorph comes into play, can copy any artifact or creature on the battlefield. I like this version. I've got this Phyrexian Metamorph. I think there was a Sculpting Steel in this form. I can't remember. But there's also a Skull Clamp. And the Skull Clamp, I had to spend a little bit to get this version of Skull Clamp. But I like it. I like it a lot. I like the original Dark Skull Clamp, and I like this version, whatever the hell it's called, Secret Lair or something. I do not like the one where it's just some bald guy with a clamp on the back of his head. It looks like a Lobot. I don't like that one. Sphinx Summoner. 3 black blue for a 3/3 flyer. Comes into play. You may, if you feel like it. But why wouldn't you? I mean, that's the whole fucking reason is in there. Go find an artifact creature card. Show it to everybody. Put it in your hand. And then shuffle your library. Golden Lotus. 5 tap at 3 mana of any one color. It's neat that so there's 2 art versions of Golden Lotus, and then they started shifting this version, with different frame treatments in the sketch effect. So I appreciate that that they have different versions of Golden Lotus, different artistic treatments. Makes it nice. Scarecrow. This one, so a friend of mine had attempted to alter it, and he really made a dog's dinner of it. So I had my friend Ren fix it, and this is the best she could do. And I mean, my other friend, he really fucked it up bad. But anyway, you can barely see it, but she costs 3. You can barely see abilities. 1, sacrifice a Scarecrow. She's the only Scarecrow in the deck unless I copy her. Draw a card. 4, tap, return target artifact creature card from your graveyard to play. Just 4 and tap. Nice, and she's a 1/2. So, cool. Lightning Greaves. This is Galaxy foil. I don't know if it's going to... Yeah, you can see a little bit. I did a video where I looked at the foil types. At the time I recorded it about a year ago, I think there were 15 different foil treatments. Galaxy, Confetti, Halo, and then looking at old foils, 2000 foils. Hey, turn on the light. Why is the light off? Oh, that was you? I thought that was Emma. Sorry.
Yes.
So, they're the one that turned off the light, not me, but I'm the one that's in trouble for calling it out. Come on. Okay, so Lightning Greaves. 2, equip creature has haste and shroud. Equip 0, yeah, everybody knows it does. But, I was talking about the foils. So, in the video, I talked about the different foil treatments. Some of them are just a layer of plastic, like the Avacyn Restored foils. Some of the Mythic Edition foils, Special Edition, just a layer of plastic. This, I like that. I like that a lot. Seed of the Sun, I would love to get this in foil, but it's still not cheap. After all these years, it's still not cheap, and I kind of know why. Because now it's old. It's only gone up in value. I wonder how much it is in foil anyway. Let me just take a look. Seed of the Synod foil, 21 euros. Yeah, I'm not getting a foil one anytime soon. Unwinding Clock, signed by Mr. Barrick. 4. It's basically a Seedborn Muse for artifacts. I untap all artifacts I control during each other player's untap step, which is nice. So it gives all my artifact creatures pseudo-vigilance. There's a command tower. There's an Arcane Sanctum. Comes to play tapped. I should probably put the... I don't know which Capenna dude it is, but I should probably get the new Capenna Triumph and replace the Arcane Sanctum with it, or put it in alongside the Arcane Sanctum, because it's searchable. Wormcoil Engine. 6 for 6/6, Death Touching Lifelinker. When it dies, you get a 3/3 Death Touch and a 3/3 Lifelink. So it just breaks in half if it dies. Memory Jar. Yep, 5. Tap, sack it. Everybody sets aside their hand face down and draws 7 cards. At the end of the turn, everybody discards the hand that they just got and returns to the hand he or she set aside this way. Hang on, I need a sip of tea here. So if you trigger this on your turn, when you've got all the untapped mana, everybody else is basically discarding the top 7 cards of the library. And you're getting all kinds of fun stuff. It's neat. And you can stage it back up with Sharuum and do it again. Polluted Delta, signed. I've got the Esper basic lands here. So all the islands, plains, and swamps are all from Esper. Just to keep the thematic theme going, the visual integration. Soul Ring, revised. Godless Shrine, not revised. Metalworker. 3 for a 1/2 artifact creature. Tap, reveal any number of artifact cards in your hand. Add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool for each card revealed this way. So, this guy's pretty good. And he's not that much. He was up to, I think, 100 euros during the pandemic. And then so now he's back to 70. I think I paid 40 euros for this one years ago. I just realized it'd be really good in Sharuum. I think the foil one at the time was 150. I should have bought the foil one because now the foils are 500. But I didn't. Walking Atlas. 2 for a 1/1 construct. Tap. Put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. And again, you may. All these, you may. You may bring back an artifact. You may put an artifact creature from your graveyard into play. You may play... Well, I'm just going to do it. Swamp, see? Esper. Master Transmuter. Oh, she's great. She can save pretty much any of my artifacts. So as long as she's active, 3 in a blue, 1/2. Blue, tap. Return an artifact you control to its owner's hand. You may, again, with the fucking may, put an artifact card from your hand to play. With her, I understand it. Because, although, I need to look this up. I'm going to set her aside because I need to look it up because one interpretation is I can return an artifact, so somebody's going to destroy one of my artifacts. I bounce it back to my hand, and once that the cost has been paid, I may put an artifact card from my hand to play. So I should be able to play the same card, right? I think that's the way it works. But it's one of those things where I haven't played with it in a while. It hasn't been a question for a while. And it sounds like I might not be allowed to do that. So I need to look her up. We'll take Construct. 4 for 2/2 Golem. Spend 2 untapped target artifact creature. I'll set him aside because he's part of the combo that I will show off. The Everything Belongs to Me combo. Kuldath of Forge Master. Yes, that is some Mishra's Workshop. Kuldath of Forge Master. 5 for 3/5 Construct. Tap. Sacrifice 3 artifacts. Search library for an artifact card and put it onto the battlefield, and then shuffle. I can find all kinds of neat things with him. Mishra's Workshop. This is the most expensive card I own. This is the crown jewel of my collection. I probably should... I've got a Chinese counterfeit copy. I should probably, when I go out to play, if I take Sharuum, leave this one at home and take the counterfeit copy. Yeah, I've got decks that run Gaia's Cradles. I've got decks that run dual lands. But none of those are fucking 2,000 euro. And this would be a significant loss if I were to... if something were to happen to it. If it were to get stolen, or I were to drop it, and it would go through a crack in the floor that I can't get to if we're outside in the pub. But I just like it. I love the art. I love the way it looks. When I sold my collection in 2002, this is one of the cards I regretted selling. And so, now that I have one again, and now that I have one of each dual land from Revised, I feel like I've recovered pretty much from what I sold. When I sold out. No, it's 2005. I sold out in 2005. What else? I don't have an Ancestral Recall, but since it only goes in Vintage, fair enough. And then I had, at the time that I sold out, at least 5 of each dual land. There were a couple I had more than 5, but I know I had a full playset of Revised, and I had 1 of each. I had 10, 4 in black border. Those I really should have kept, but I didn't. And this I sold. But I managed to reacquire one. Swamp. Plains. Swamp. Shimmer Mirror. 3 for 2/2 Flashy Mirror. I may cast artifact cards as though they had flash. Jumpin' Jack Flash. Manifold Key. This used to be Voltaic Key, but Manifold Key gives me more options. 1, to cast it. 1, tap, untap another target artifact. 3, tap, target creature can't be blocked this turn. So it does double duty. Water Grave, Beacon of Unrest. Put target artifact or creature card from graveyard into play under your control. Shelf this back in your library. I want to get a foil one of him too, but I've got about 400 euros of cards on my immediate want list, and he's not on that. So not really worried about getting a foil one of him anytime soon, even though I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. Because this set was that Mirrored and Besieged, I think. I forget the name of the set, but the foils looked really nice. So I would like to get him in foil. 2, Black Blue. 3 loyalty to start. +1, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You reveal an artifact card from among them, put it in your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order you fucking feel like. Anyway. Neg 1, target artifact becomes a 5/5 artifact creature. Neg 4, target player loses X life and gain X life, where X is twice the number of artifacts you control. Oh, that can get really nasty. To be honest, I really only used the +1 ability whenever I've had it in play. I don't think I've even ever triggered the ultimate. Just, I want to play with my toys, I want to play with the artifacts. I don't want to just kill everybody. Then the game's over and I can't play with anything. Arcane Denial. Trinket Mage on YouTube, he hates this card. He despises it. He thinks it serves no purpose. To me it serves a purpose because the 1 colorless to counter a spell. There's no other bullshit, nothing else I have to do, just bang, counter target spell. Yeah, the caster gets 2 cards at the beginning of the next upkeep, and I get 1. But still, whatever was really going to bother me is countered, unless I can get it back somehow. Urza, Prince of Krug. I put him in here because I thought it would be funny. The battery is going to go. Should I stop? Yeah, I'll stop it now and replace the battery. Alright, we're back. So Urza, here, Prince of Krug, I thought it'd be funny. So 2 blue-white for 2/3 human artificer. Artifact creatures I control get +2/+2. 6, create a token that's a copy of target artifact you control, except it's a 1/1 soldier creature token in addition to this type. So, let me set him there and I'll show you why I think he's funny when I get the whole suite of cards for the I Own Everything combo. Float a Strand, Vault of Whispers, again not foil, they're expensive. Memnarch the Devil, he's part of the combo. Academy Ruins, Vera Stronghold for artifacts. Tap, add colorless, 1 blue. Put target artifact card from graveyard and top your library. Gets things back. Burnished Heart. Yeah, 3, 2/2, Elk. 3, sacrifice it. I got this new card. This new... Oh, what the hell is it called? I can't remember. Skyclave Relic, I think it is. It costs 3. You can kick it for 3. And if you kick it, if you pay 6, you get 2 copies of it. And it's basically a Darksteel Ingot. It's a 3 mana, indestructible mana rock. It can produce mana of any color. But if you kick it, you get 3 of them. Maybe that would be better than Burnished Heart. I don't know, anyway, finding 2 basic lands and putting them in a play tab, that's pretty good. I've got plenty of ways of getting artifacts back. Yeah, Teferi's Protection. 2 and a white till your next turn. Your life total can't change. You have protection from everything. Does that include the LAPD? Do you get protection from LAPD? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? All permanents you control phase out and then exile Teferi's Protection. Star Compass. I just like it. I just like the way this looks. It's not really that efficient. I mean, there's better mana rocks, but it's cool. 2 comes into play tapped. Tap, add 1 mana of any color that a basic land you control could produce. So it has a restriction. It comes into play tapped, but it's so pretty. Tezzeret the Seeker. I've got about 3 copies of him across different decks. 3 blue, 4 loyalty Tezzeret, +1, untap up to 2 artifacts. I make a lot of use out of that. I do that a lot if he's in play. Every turn. Almost. Neg X, search a library for an artifact card that's converted mana cost X or less, put into play, then shuffle. That's the other one I use. This one, artifacts you control become 5/5 artifact creatures until end of turn. I don't do that. I never do that. I don't care about that. I would like something more interesting. Like, target artifact you control becomes indestructible, gets an indestructible something. But they become 5/5 artifact creatures. Yeah, that's good if you're critting a lot. Yeah, actually, if I put a lot of treasure token generators in here, I could put Smothering Tithe in here, and then I can make all the treasures 5/5 artifacts. Ooh, yeah, that could be dirty. Disallow. 1 blue, counteract spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. Plains. Threaten Temporal Gateway. 4, and then 4, and tap it. You may put a historic permanent card from the end of the battlefield. Okay, well, let's run that. Why wouldn't you? Why would you spend 4 and tap this damn thing if you are not going to put a historic permanent card onto the battlefield? It makes no sense. Maybe in some cases, if there's in any way that you would want to do that, let me know, because I'm curious. I cannot think of any reason why you would spend 4, tap it, and not do it. Island, Swamp. There's the Sculpting Steel. Comes into play as a copy of any artifact on the battlefield. Any artifact. Sharuum, Memnarch, anything. Darksteel Forge, yeah, oh yeah. Counter Squall. Black-blue. Counter target non-creature spell. Its control loses 2 life for their audacity. Darksteel Forge. Artifacts you control are indestructible. What's interesting is, so there's this version, and then there's I believe the M13 version. Let me just take a quick look. No, the 2014. So Magic 2014. It's slightly different. The foiling process was about the same, but the gray is a little bit browner, just a touch. You can tell. But they changed the quote. That's the biggest difference, is the quote changed. And this version of Darksteel Forge is about €40. I believe the M14 is about €10 cheaper. But they do the same thing. They both have roughly the same foiling process. And normally when sets are that close together, there's not that much of a price difference. But for this card there is. And I think it's because of the quote. I think more people like this. What is the M14 quote? Let me take a look. So M14, it says, "It is as if this world had been expecting our blessings." No, it is as if this world has been expecting our blessings. Elishorn, grandson of Bite. So, I guess people want to hear from Pontifex. Whoa. So, this version is 40. The M14 version is 26. That's a pretty good drop there. So anyway, we got that version. I did manage to get a few foil basic lands for this deck. I think I have one of each. I believe Swamp was the last one that I was missing any one of. So now I think I have 2 full islands, 1 foil plains, 1 foil swamp. I would like to get more, but I would like to get a lot more foils of a lot of things. You know, it's good to want things. Glimmer Void. At end turn, if you control artifacts, sacrifice Glimmer Void. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. And it's just so pretty. Tezzeret Artifact. At least I've got 1 foil Tezzeret. Tezzeret Artifice Master. 3 blue, 5 loyalty Tezzeret. Create a 1/1 colorless Thopter with flying. 0, draw a card. If you control 3 or more artifacts, draw 2 cards. That's the one I use the most. I hardly ever use that ability. The drawing cards. That's nice. And, you know, every turn if you can just draw 2 cards for doing nothing, why not? The emblem. Neg 9. You get an emblem with, at the beginning of your end step, search your library for a permanent card, put it on the battlefield and shuffle. That would be nice, but I've never bothered to trigger it. Because I'm drawing cards, he's not ticking up in loyalty. So, with him, and the other Tezzeret the Seeker, if I had them side and then just kept making Thopters and then made them all 5/5, that's another route to victory that I just haven't really needed to use, haven't needed to explore it. Darksteel Colossus. There he is. I thought I had him in my Animar deck. But no, I have him here. 11 for an 11/11 trample. He is indestructible. If we'd go to a graveyard from anywhere, instead, show him to everybody, and then shuffle it into your library. When this guy was revealed, Platinum Angel 2, when they were revealed in Darksteel, people were like, oh my fucking god, oh that's amazing. And now, nobody cares. 11 mana for just 11/11 Trampler? It's indestructible? Yeah. Nobody cares. He's not worth that much. How much is he worth now? He is worth... well, he's still worth 15 euros. So that's not insignificant, but nowhere near what he used to command. A lot of cards like that. Nowhere near what they used to command. Spine of Issachar. 7. When this artifact comes into play, destroy target permanent. When this artifact is put in the graveyard from the battlefield, return it to your hand. So you can cast it again, or you can use the Temporal Gateway to get it down for 4 instead of 7, and blow up something else. Armillary Sphere. I wanted a colorless way, another agnostic way of finding lands, fixing my mana. Sometimes this deck, it sometimes will be really hungry for one color, and because of the way I've built it, it's not always predictable what that color is going to be. Sometimes I'm getting more of the blue things, and I'm not getting enough blue sources of mana. Other times it's usually white. Black seems to be constant. White and blue seem to be the hungriest 2 colors. And occasionally there's a mismatch between the colors I have available and the colors I need. And this helps get past it by finding 2 basic land cards and putting them into my hand. Arcane Lighthouse. Until in turn, creatures opponent control lose hexproof and shroud and cannot have hexproof or shroud. I just have this in here for fun. Copper Gnomes. 2 for a 1/1/4. Sacrifice them. Choose an artifact card in your hand and put that into play. Bang! So on turn 2, I can drop the Gnomes, and usually turn 3 I can activate them because I should have some kind of mana rock. Activate them, sacrifice them, drop Darksteel Forge into play. If I get that into play pretty early, it's going to be a fun game for me until somebody exiles it with some targeted, and then I cry. So I have Neverill's Disc and Darksteel Forge. Yes, I do have the dirty combo. So 4, 1. It comes to play tapped. Of course, you have to untap it, so basically it sits there. Now, unlike Rocket Launcher specifically says you cannot use it until it begins play on your turn. So Rocket Launcher comes to play tapped. And even if you could untap it, you could not activate it. It specifically says that. Neverill's Disc does not. It comes to play tapped. But if you can untap it, then you can trigger it. And if I have Darksteel Forge, because it says destroy, it becomes indestructible. So this in Darksteel Forge is just a one-sided board wipe I can activate every turn. Pretty dirty. That's another reason I don't take Sharuum out too much. Reflecting Pool, help me fix my mana. Hinder, I just wanted another counterspell, and I thought this, I love the art on Hinder. I really like it, and I wanted to play it somewhere. So I give it to Sharuum. 1 blue counter spell. If it's countered this way, put the card on the top or bottom of its owner's library instead of their graveyard. It used to work on commanders. Some of you may have been playing not that long. Used to be you would counter somebody's commander and put it on the bottom of the library. Hinder did that. Spell Crumple did that. In fact, Spell Crumple was specifically for commanders. It was like a counter commander. It cost the same, counter target spell, but you put it on the bottom of the owner's library. And then, because it really pissed people off and made for bad feels and bad games, the rules committee changed it, and they said, okay, if you counter somebody's commander, it goes back to the command zone. They can choose to put it back in the command zone. So Hinder and Spell Crumple lost a lot of their luster because you couldn't put somebody's commander in the bottom of the library anymore. But still, you can counter it. It'll just go back to the command zone. Or they could choose to put it on the bottom of the library. Well, you choose. They could choose to let you choose. Island, Spellskite. 2 blue or 2 life, change target to target spell or ability to Spellskite. This is the one of the Secret Lair versions. I think there's multiple Secret Lair versions of this bastard. I'm not sure. Metavault. So I've got the revised version to match the Soul Ring. Wherever I have a Metavault and Soul Ring, I've got them in the same set. So Karavik, for example, has 4th edition German Metavault and Soul Ring. I believe I only have 3 copies of Metavault anymore. I sold one because I wanted to get one of the full art Metavaults to go with the full art Soul Ring that I got in my Shuldamanary Secret Lair. I've not bought that yet, but I want to. Anyway, 1. Tap at 3 colors to your mana pool. Does not untap normally during untap tap. To untap it, you have to pay 4 mana during your upkeep. And if it remains tapped, if you don't untap it, it does 1 point of damage to you. So, takes you down. Armory Automaton. This guy, I'm really looking forward to playing him. 3 for 2/2 construct. Whenever he enters or attacks, you may attach any number of target equipment to it. So you just grab everybody's equipment. All those swords, hammers, armor, greaves, whatever. He just grabs it all, and he's a fucking beatstick. I just want to play him and see what happens. I should get some more copies because it's just such a fun effect. How much is he now? He's only €3. They don't have a foil one though. But that's, I mean, you gotta admit that'd be a hell of a shock to people. Meteor Golem. This is basically Spine of Isha with a 3/3 body. It's just, and when it goes to the graveyard, it stays dead. So it's a Spine of Isha with a 3/3 body, and and the trade-off is that if it goes to the graveyard, it doesn't come back to your hand. It can only destroy lands. Can Spine of Isha destroy anything? Let me take a look. Target permanent. So plus, Spine of Isha can destroy lands. Can destroy target any permanent. This can't hit lands. Erratic Portal. Return target creature to its owner's hand unless the controller pays 1. This is really in here to save my creatures. So I can spend 4, play it, 1, tap it, bounce one of my creatures back that's going to get killed. Let's say a combat trick. I can block and then bounce it back. Or Meteor Golem. It's got an enter the battlefield ability. so I can bounce it back and cast it again. And then I go for Meat Goblin Duplicant, another artifact creature with a enter the battlefield ability. So 6, exile a creature, and it becomes imprinted on Duplicant. And as long as the Duplicant has a creature imprinted on it, it has the card's power, toughness, creature, not abilities, it's power, toughness, and creature types. But it's still the shapeshifter. Okay, there's my foil island. Neat. Arcane Signet. When it was Sidri, I got the Signets, Demir, Orzhov, and Azorius. I got the 3 Signets to match the colors of the deck in this Dan Frazier textured foil treatment. When I stopped using Sidri, I didn't need the Signets as much anymore, but I kept this Arcane Signet to, just because I like it, it's just pretty. Island, Hex Parasite. Planeswalker Killer. 1X. For X mana, so black or 2 life. Remove up to X counters for target permanent. For each counter removed this way, Hex Parasite gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So somebody's a Planeswalker, I can spend X, and if I really need to get rid of it, I can pay life instead of paying black, and take away its loyalty counters and make this guy more powerful for a little while. There's a Plains, there's a Vault of the Archangel, 2 black-white creatures control gain Death Touch and lifelink until end of turn. This is a holdover from Sidri, but it works. Esper Sentinel. Like I talked about with Sigarda, when I first got these, I got one from a pack when I opened a box of MH2. I don't remember how I got the second one, but I did somehow. And I didn't know what to do with him. And then finally I shoved one into Sigarda. I thought, wow, this guy's really cool. And I shoved the other one because I was thinking I would get 2 more and put them into one of my modern decks. But they stayed at 20 euros. They stayed expensive, and I couldn't justify spending that for modern because I don't play modern that much. And the decks are designed to play well against each other, so I didn't do that. But I kept them. I actually wanted to buy list one of them, but it was a little bit damaged, so the shop didn't want it. And that's the one Sigarda has. This one, it works really cool here. So, one. If any of you guys have been playing Sander for a little while, you know what this guy does. Whenever an opponent casts her first non-creature spell each turn, draw a card, unless they pay X, where X is his power. So I just need to figure out ways to make it more powerful. Smothering Tithe. I do have Smothering Tithe in the deck, I forgot. 3 and a white. Whenever an opponent draws a card, they may pay 2. If they refuse, you get a treasure token. I hope I don't have to explain what a treasure token does. Aethersworn Canonist. The lads hate this card. Oh, they really don't like her, especially the Genie. The Genie says she's one of the biggest bullshit cards in this bullshit deck. 1 and a white for a 2/2 human cleric. Artifact creature. Each player who has played a non-artifact spell cannot play additional non-artifact spells. So, in an artifact deck, I just have to plan it out carefully. If I want to play anything non-artifact, I have to get it out of the way, but then I can keep playing artifacts. If the other lads, if they're not playing heavy artifacts, then they're at 1 spell per turn. Island Counterspell. Counter target spell. Easy. Solemn Simulacrum. 4. When this little bastard comes to play. This is Kai Buddha, by the way. One of the greatest players of the game. He won... I believe he's the only player, maybe Tiago Chan got 2, but I think he's the only player that has 2 of these, I forget what they call them, but he won a Pro Tour, so he got to make a card. This is not exactly what he proposed. He proposed something called Forest Folk, which is blue-green, did kind of the same thing. And Wizards decided to make it an artifact because it fit mirrored in better, this plane they were making. But when he comes to play, go find a basic land, put it in play tapped. When he dies, you draw a card. I forget what his other card was. I think Void Mage Prodigy. I think he's the Void Mage Prodigy. Yeah, he is Void Mage Prodigy as well. So he's on 2 of these Pro Tour winner cards. Marsh Flats. Mirage Mirror. 3. 2. Mirage Mirror becomes a copy of target artifact, creature, enchantment, or land until end of turn. It'd be kind of funny if it became a copy of a Planeswalker. Probably be broken at that point, but still. And of course, if you copied one of your Planeswalkers, the legendary rule would trigger and you'd have to get rid of it, so you could effectively only copy your opponent's Planeswalkers. Anyway, it works. Heuristic Study. 2 in a blue. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may draw a card unless they pay 1. Sunken Hollow, Island Swamp, Noxious Gearhulk. 4 black for a 5/4 menacing construct. When it comes to play, you may destroy another target creature. Now this is good because if you're the only one with any creatures, and you just need to get him out to have more presence on the board, but either nobody has anything you could target or nobody has anything. You don't want to kill one of your own creatures. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But still, since it says May, if you do need the life, you can kill one of your own creatures and gain life equal to its toughness. Otherwise, he's a 5/4 menacing bastard. Karn, oh yeah, he's part of the combo. Actually, Gilded Lotus is part of the combo too. I better pull that out. Ancient Den, it's not a spell. See? Ancient Den is not a spell. So don't play with it. Steel Hell's Kite. It's my token killer in this deck. 6, 5/5 flyer. He's got aluminum breathing. He breathes aluminum oxide because he can't really breathe fire. It doesn't cost red. You spend 2 colorless and he gets +1/+0 until end turn for every 2. Or if Steel Hellkite smashes into somebody, you can spend X and destroy each non-land permanent with CMC X or less under their control. So if somebody has a token deck, they've got a lot of tokens. If you can get this bad boy over and smack them for 5, and then you spend 0, and you destroy all their tokens. Ethereum Sculptor. Artifact spells you play cost 1 less to play. Nice. Prairie Stream. Just one of the many forms of dual land. Padim, Console Innovation. Artifacts you control have hexproof. He's not. I could put in ways of making him an artifact. There are a number of those. The thing is that they take up slots in the deck. It's pretty much only him and Urza that I would want to do that for. So it doesn't really justify including something that can make them like liquid metal coating. It doesn't really justify 2 cards. Doesn't justify adding a liquid metal coating. Taking something else out that only works with 2% of the deck. But anyway, beginning of your upkeep, if you control the artifact with the highest CMC or tied for it, draw a card. So he draws me extra cards. Because at some point, sometimes in the early game, I don't have the highest CMC artifact. But if the game goes on a little bit, I will. Eventually I will. Not a lot of people are playing anything with higher CMC than Darksteel Forge or fucking Darksteel Colossus. Baleful Strix. Black-blue, 1/1 death-touching flyer. When it comes to play, a draw card. Island Moxel. This has gone up a lot. I really would like to get a Scars of Mirrodin version because I like the frame better. But I missed the boat. I should have got it when it was only 80 euros for a foil one. Now it's 150, 200. damn, that unbanning really, really yanked everybody's chain on this card. But the thing is, I did not predict it at all. Felt I had plenty of time to eventually get the full frame Scars and Mirrored in foil version of this card. But I think that's not going to happen until they reprint it. Which I think they did. I think it's going to be a special guest in the race car set. Because I was watching some spoilers, and they did spoil some nice... Yeah, I think it is Mox Opal. I think it is a special guest in the race car set. Anyway, City Brass. This is a card that I did buy at the right time. I bought it back when it was 30 euros, and now it's 300. Even though it's not in the best condition. It's not near mint. It's good at best. But still, it's just really... It's beautiful. I love it. Enter this palace gate and ask the news of greatness fallen into dust and decay. Yeah, it hurts me every time I tap it, but it still looks cool, so I get cool points. Tormod's Crypt, sack it, exile target player's graveyard from the game. Sphinx of the Steel Wind. I got this for my one of my vintage decks. So I have blue-red. It was originally Delver. Then it became Sprite Dragon, and it wasn't quite getting there. It wasn't quite doing it. So I looked at some other versions of the deck. I went on MTG Top 8 and looked at some decks playing Sprite Dragon and the other cards I had in there. And it came back with, well, put some green in there for Oko and Tinker for Sphinx of the Steel Wind. I thought, well, shit, if I'm going to Tinker, this guy doesn't have haste, but if I'm going to Tinker, then I can finally put my Blightsteel Colossus in. So in my blue-green-red vintage deck, with Powered by China, all the good cards, all the expensive cards are Chinese fakes, don't get excited. Instead of putting in an 8-mana 6/6 flying, first strike, vigilance, lifelink, protection, burn green, I put in an 11/11 indestructible. If I hit you once with it, you die to poison. I figured that was the better option, so I put the Sphinx of the Steel Wind because I had it into Sharuum. So yeah, 8 mana, 6/6, flying, first strike, vigilance, lifelink, protection, red, protection, green. She does. Fucking Swift's Army. And then we have Inkwell Leviathan. 7 green, blue for a 7/11 island walk. Trample, Shroud. Into its maw went the 7th sea, never to be seen again while the world remains. It's just cool. I don't plan to spend 9 mana for it, though. I plan to use the Thran Portal or Master Transmuter to get it down. This card, I opened it in a pack. I bought some packs of Modern Masters, Modern Horizons, bought some packs of Modern Horizons when I had some money burning a hole in my pocket that I should have spent on something smarter, but I didn't. I spent it on some packs of Modern Horizons like an idiot. But I got this card. This is the best card I got. The second best was Esper Sentinel, so... And then everything else is kind of junk. I didn't know what to do with this card. I offered to trade it to a friend of mine, and we couldn't really make a deal. And I put it in my art binder because I like the art. I like the way this looks. This just looks really cool. I didn't know what to do with it. And then I thought, what if I play in Sharuum and see what happens? Oh my fucking god, it was such a perfect card for the deck. I was an idiot for not doing it before. It comes into play. I could tap it for colorless. Stage 2. I create the construct. Right? Tap, create the construct. And then 3, I go find Soul Ring, or Manifold, or Mox Opal, or Manifold. It's just a perfect card for this deck. Anyway, let me get to the infinite combo. before I really bore the hell out of everybody. So I passed up one of the cards. Let's see. Darksteel Colossus. I've got this, just one more side. So there's this meme that I saw. So somebody took Darksteel Colossus, and instead of dark, it says, "Look at this motherfucker." And it's got these bullet points. It says, "Trample. It's a creature. What the shit are those rings? 11 power. Fuck. 11 toughness too. God, I love creatures." It's. I don't have it here with me right now. The box I glued this to, but I can share it with some of you. It always makes me laugh every time I see it. What the shit are those rings? Where is the Gilded Lotus? There we go. Okay, so here's the combo. Here's the infinite, and it's 4 cards. It requires 4 cards, and because it requires, she's not really part of it. Because it requires 4 cards, even my friend Yiji, who hates combo wins, nobody really likes a 2 or 3 card. Okay, look, I put these 2 cards together. All of you die. Game's over. It's so anticlimactic. It's just like, okay, we've been building up, then bang, boom, you win. Just that's it. Fuck that. So even he appreciates that this 4-card combo is pretty goddamn funny. And because it is 4 cards, and it's hard to search for all 4 of them, I can't do it anytime soon. He grudgingly said that he approves. So anyway, how does it start? It starts with Gilded Lotus and Karn Silver Golem. You need these 3 cards. Well, you need one of these 2, and you need these 3 in play. So Karn, you turn Gilded Lotus into a creature. You add 3 mana of any one color. You tap it. You spend 2 to untap this now artifact creature. You tap it for 3. You spend, and so that extra, that 3rd mana that you're getting, you keep building it up, and then you need one of these 2. These are the outlets. So if you generate an infinite blue, then you can turn everybody else's permanents into artifacts and steal them all. So that ends the game, because they've got no lands, they've got nothing. You've got everything. Or I thought this would be really funny. Whatever artifact I have, I can spend the infinite mana and just create a shitload of copies of it. And they'd be 3/3. Imagine if I had Darksteel Forge in play, and I spent a shitload of mana, and I created 100 copies of Darksteel Forge. If I had 103 indestructible creatures that make all my other artifacts indestructible. That just amuses me. Of course, I don't need Mana Vault will work, but if I do Mana Vault, then I can't really do Memnarch because he's blue hungry. It requires too much blue, so Gilded Lotus is better for him. But for Urza, Prince of Krug, Mana Vault works just fine, because Mana Vault, Karn turns it to a 1/1 artifact creature, tap it for 3, spend 2, untap it, tap it for 3, and then you will always have a 3rd mana, and you just keep cranking it out, and then you crank out your 100 copies of what, I mean, that would be 600 mana, but when you've got the combo going, that works. So that's Sharuum. That's an overview of her. That's how she works. A bit about her history. So I've had her for at least 8 years now. I think I broke up. It's gone back and forth. I think I had Sharuum, either I'm pretty sure I had Sidri first, and then I made Sharuum, and then I broke it up because I was using Disciple to Vault combo, and it's not a good combo because it just kills people. Bang, done, you're dead. Exactly what I was saying about combos people hate. People hate the Disciple of All combo because it only requires 3 cards and one of them your fucking commander. So you always, not always, but you pretty much reliably have access to your commander. And then I broke that up, sold a few of the pieces. I think I made Sidri again. I tried to make it work again because I'd learned more about how to play commander. She still didn't work very well. She was clunky because she's really mana hungry. And so I broke it up and I went back to Sharuum and I figured out how to do the Memnarch combo. So it is what it is.